should have walked me over to the Bayview ER
Yeah.
and placed me on a 72-hour hold.
Yeah.
But thank God they assessed me. We put some things in place.
Mm-hmm.
My husband was able to take off work, stay with me 24/7.
Yeah.
And I entered therapy.
Yeah.
I went to my doctor of 29 years, same doctor, and we talked about a plan, and we put a care plan in place.
Mm-hmm.
And I did therapy for 3 months. And although I'm not gonna lie to you, I didn't like the therapist.
Yeah.
But the therapy helped.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And people looked at me like, you really went to therapy? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But you are a therapist, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
Trained therapist, yes. But we all need therapy.
Yes.
We all need therapy. And that saved my life.
Yeah. Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'd like to welcome you to another episode of the Just Keep Showing Up podcast. Today, I have the privilege of speaking to Kim. I'm going to let Kim introduce herself. I'm very excited, as I always say, very excited about the podcast. I met her at the gym, like a couple of people that y'all heard from. Her and I were talking. I was telling her about the podcast, and she was like, sure, I'll be on the podcast. So I'm very excited about this. And as we get to the podcast, y'all will find out why. So Kim, welcome. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Yes. So the first question we often ask is, tell people a little bit about yourself. We want to make sure the folks know who's talking to them. And it's whatever you want to share. There's no right or wrong answer.
Okay. So my name is Kimberly Linton. I go by Kim. I'm a 55-year-old young lady, gray-haired young lady. I have one child who will be turning about 25 in the next month. I've been married for 16 and a half years, and we're a blended family, so a couple kids. I am by career a social worker. I've been a social worker for 35 years, soon to be on a retirement track. And I love kids, love what I do, but it's just come to a time to move on to a new career, new path. A little bit about myself personally. The biggest thing that's happened to me is in June of 2011, doing a surgical procedure, I suffered a stroke. And a lot of times when people look at me, I say, you don't look like you've had a stroke. You don't look old enough to have suffered a stroke. But strokes come in so many different ways. Strokes don't just come from life. They come for other reasons. And mine was, as I said, doing a surgical procedure. 2 days after coming out of recovery and the hard drugs, it was discovered that I was legally blind in my left eye. And unfortunately, even after numerous efforts and a long hospitalization at Hopkins, they were not able to reverse the loss of sight. So that's where we are with that. It literally turned my world upside down. I can still remember being in Hopkins for 9 days on the stroke unit, and at that time it was down on Wolf Street, and it was a 10-bed facility. And I remember being in room 1, and that room in particular was the room for the helipad. So I could see the helicopters landing, working on people. Very depressing. One of the procedures to try to reverse the vision loss was them giving me 3 days of IV treatment. And unfortunately, that medication made you severely depressed. I mean, severely, to the point that I was literally locked to my bed.
Oh, wow.
For days, because in an effort to keep me from harming myself.
Yeah.
And unbeknownst to me, the situation lasted beyond discharge from the hospital. So we're talking June of 2011. I went to Hopkins almost every single day, trying to get treatment, learning how to cook again, walk up steps, walk down steps. I lost my driver's license through motor vehicle.
Wow.
I had to go through training to get my driver's license back. I had to basically start my life over. What people don't realize, when you lose vision at an adult age or later in life, it's totally different than being born with no vision. Because you adapt as a child.
Yes, that makes sense.
But when you suddenly lose vision, and I have no peripheral vision, you're driving, you're parking, cutting of a knife, pouring a glass. I can remember the first couple of days being home, pouring a pitcher, and it never made it to the glass. The liquid's running. Not able to come downstairs by myself because I'm missing the steps. First time learning to drive again. All over the road, over the line. Couldn't park. Couldn't back up. Those things. When it got to that point, it took a toll.
Okay.
I remember being a social worker. Here you are helping other people with mental health. And here I'm depressed. Who's going to help me?
Yes, that's real.
And I remember them saying in the hospital, oh, there's people that are worse. Look at people in room 3 and room 5. And I remember saying this to the doctors, and I can tell you their names, first and last names. But I remember saying to the doctors, you may say someone's worse off than me, but at this moment in my life, this is the worst that I've been through.
Yes.
So this is my rock bottom.
Yes, I that right there, like that part, I wrote that down. That is something that I often try to share with people, because in our society we can get to this comparing thing, and I think people mean very well when they say it could be worse. You often hear a person say, eat your food. People in Africa, people in whatever place where people are in certain areas less fortunate, well, they have less than you. Eat all your food. It's like, okay, if I throw it away, they still have less than me. Or it's just like, but back to what you're saying with there's people worse than you. It's like a person's taking away your experience, not allowing you to experience what you experienced, because you can only compare your life to your life.
Nobody walked in my shoes. Nobody was able to walk in my shoes. Yes. And to say that, what people were saying was, and I remember this so clear, here this is 13 years later. Well, it could have been worse. It could have been both eyes.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter whether it's both eyes.
Yes.
I'm still considered legally blind.
And you still...
My life is still changed.
And you're still without something that you had.
Yes.
Yeah, it could have been it could have been both eyes, or it could have been no eyes.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like that. Again, I think some folks' intentions, they have well intentions when they say it. It's just they're not delivering that message the correct way.
Absolutely.
Because I really think it's important to allow a person to experience what they're experiencing and don't pull away from it. Because to you, that is your worst.
That was my worst.
And that's it. So
Absolutely.
Just because someone else has it, they're have it worse than you, it doesn't take away from it being your worst.
It was my worst. And I had to tell that to my team of physicians, from the specialized eye doctors to the neurologists. Because what I didn't know is your vision comes from your brain and your eye. So I had to have a neurologist plus a regular doctor. So you just never know how things work on the body.
Yeah.
But it came to a head when people who were close to me walked away because I shut down.
Yeah.
And people couldn't understand. Well, I'm coming to see you every day in the hospital. How could you shut down? You have a husband. You have a child. But my life has drastically changed. My job damn near let me go after 10 years. Here I am, a licensed social worker with 2 degrees, and they wanted to put me in a position of being a clerk.
Yeah, yes.
How do you go from a master's degree to being a clerk making a third of your pay?
And that alone will I think can push you to depression.
Exactly.
You know,
exactly.
And I wrote down how we deal with trauma. You know, like you deal with your situation the way you deal with it. So even with people coming in, you know what I mean, you're still dealing with stuff.
Yes.
You know, so I think it's just important to give people the space they need to be able to deal with things the way they do. It's kind of like with this podcast. It's like, hey, taking our stories and sharing it with people, you know, to just, so, because sometimes people may relate, you know what I mean? So I think it's,
because people say that to me. Well, you've had a stroke. How do you manage? How do you seem so alive? How do you seem so happy? You at the gym and you just don't seem like you had a stroke. But what does a stroke look like?
Yes.
What does a stroke victim look like?
Yes.
Well, am I supposed to be walking around with my head down? Do I need to have a shirt on that says I had a stroke?
Yes.
I mean, I never understand that. But when you said that, it made me think about what I said to people is, can you put yourself in my shoes?
Yes.
You can't.
Yeah.
You can't lose your vision and then call me.
Yeah.
I mean, it got to the point, Derek, that, and I'll never forget this as long as I live. Christmas Eve, 2011, I went to Hopkins, Bayview, for one of my follow-up appointments. And her name is Dr. Jennifer Dearborn. God, I remember that lady as clear as can be. And I remember being the last person in the office. The guards left, the secretaries left, the nurses. We were locked in the building. We were the last one there. And I remember saying to her, when I leave here, I'm going home and unalive myself.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe I had said it. Because in my mind, I'm a social worker. We don't talk like that.
Yeah.
We help people from, quote unquote, unaliving themselves.
Yeah.
And here I am telling my doctor, when I walk out of this place, I'm going to end my life. And my husband and my son was in the lobby, and she brought him in. And I know it's normal procedure. They should have walked me over to the Bayview ER and placed me on a 72-hour hold.
Yeah.
But thank God they assessed me. We put some things in place. My husband was able to take off work, stay with me 24/7.
Yeah.
And I entered therapy.
Yeah.
I went to my doctor of 29 years, same doctor, and we talked about a plan, and we put a care plan in place. And I did therapy for 3 months. And although I'm not gonna lie to you, I didn't like the therapist.
Yeah.
But the therapy helped.
Yes.
And people looked at me like, "You really went to therapy?" Yeah. But you are a therapist, aren't you? Trained therapist, yes. But we all need therapy.
Yes.
We all need therapy. And that saved my life.
Yes.
I now tell my story. People say to me all the time, I can't believe you tell people all your business. It's not my business. It's my story, because you never know who you could save.
Yes. Yep.
You never know who might be listening, who you can save. I can't believe I'm sitting here today, because had I not told my doctor, I would have went on home and went with my plan.
That was gonna be my thing. It's like, you said you couldn't believe you told her, and I was like, that's probably saved your life. By
it
saying,
did save my life.
Know, and I commend you on going to therapy, because I know in our community, specifically the Black community, growing up, it was, some people can consider it weakness, and I think it's probably more communities. I can only speak for the one I grew up in,
Right.
But it was, you don't go to therapy. We don't talk about things.
We don't tell our business.
And I think some of that probably stems from, times before, like our grandparents, our great-grandparents, what they had to do. Like, you can't show any form of weakness in the environments they grew up in, you know, but so that probably carried on through generations. But therapy is important. I think probably, I'm not a social worker. I was in the Army for 23 years, and I've, worked with many different personalities, people from all walks of life. And I can only imagine as a social worker how much stuff actually gets on you when you're talking to people, trying to coach people
Say that
along.
again.
Yeah,
Say that statement again.
How much stuff gets on you. So I would think, with the social worker, like, therapy is almost like what you do like quarterly or something. Go talk to someone, So I thank you. And I will also say, just talking to you, it's just so fascinating to me that you can do life with the person. Like, for us, our connection was in a gym, and we have a very close-knit group. Of course, I'm at a new gym now, and you kind of, told me about myself before we started the podcast.
He kicked us out the old gym, you guys.
No, y'all still there. I just went to a different one.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you kicked us out. I feel like
no, but it's amazing how you can do life with a person. Like, at the gym, and we had a close-knit group of people where we all was there at a certain time, encouraging people, and you just never know a person's story because you just see them showing up as how they are, and you don't know. Like, I had no idea that you was like, legally blind in one eye and that you've had a stroke. Like, I never, and like you said, like, and I'm sitting there thinking like, okay, well, what does a
stroke look like?
What does it look like? And then to talk about, and I shared with you before we started the podcast, like me and my bout with depression and understanding, coming from an understanding point, like life gets really tough. It's hard, It really gets hard. So I really thank you for sharing this and just talking about it. And I know the next question I have, which you kind of addressed it, but it's more. So with all of this, you've gone through a lot, and I mean, you were 42 years old when you had was you 42 yet when you had your stroke?
I guess you about right. I didn't even know the age.
Yeah. I just subtracted a 13. You said 2011 and you're 55, so 42. And I can say with me personally, when I hit like 40, and like I'm 47 now, but that was like an age where I feel like I just started figuring out life. Like everything that I learned as a child.
Yes.
I call that like my developmental years, from like 0 to 19, and then from 20 to 39, those are my sacrificial years. That's where I worked. And then now, where I'm at now, from 40 to 59, I call that my cultivation years. So I'm like really enjoying, like pulling everything in. And I look at you at 42, it's like, man, you at like the prime, like the prime time, and to have a stroke, and then for me to see how you show up now, Dylan, like I said, seeing you in the gym, we had an opportunity for our little crew to go out to like an event that the other Kim had. It's just amazing to me. So my question is like, what do you do for yourself to keep showing up? Like, what motivates you? What is it that's driving you to just keep showing up and continuing to push forward?
I think the gym has definitely helped, and obviously you said that earlier. That's how we met.
Yeah.
And it was funny because you said you never would have thought I had a stroke because you see me.
Yeah.
You see me, Derek, in the gym. You see me. I tell to anybody. I'm sure you see that.
Yeah.
But I tell my story, and what I do is I show up not to necessarily help people, but to help myself.
Yes.
Because that gym now has made me become the Kim I should have been when I was 42 and had the stroke.
Yeah.
Yes. And it took many years off of me. And people say, well, what do you mean it took years off of you? It did, because it kind of handicapped me for a while. When you get depressed and get to a level where you feel like you can't turn back, it's taking something from you.
Yeah.
And I had to find myself again. I had been in the gym off and on. 6 months you stop. You know the old rule, don't stop, because then you can't get back. Now, every single day, almost 7 days a week, I'm in the gym. I've had people who, I'm not going to lie, have made little cracks about, you don't need to go every day and you'll do. It's not the gym. It's the therapy piece of the gym.
Yes. Yeah.
It's something I chose. It's a way for me to heal my soul.
Yes.
And then reaching out to other people who I have met, and I talk to them and they're like, wow, I wish I had this energy. When I leave the gym and I go to Dunkin' Donuts every day to get my coffee, that's another little bad handicap I have.
That's all right.
The man said to me the other day, he said, God, I wish I had that in the morning. And I'm stopping. I said, what? He said, all that. And I said, what? So I had my coffee in my hand. I said, coffee? He said, no, all this.
The energy.
The energy.
Yes, it's real.
He said, man, I wish I had that. Give me some of that.
Yeah.
I didn't have that when I went through the depression.
Yes.
I mean, I didn't have it. And now I just try to touch a person every day. If I can touch one person or make one person smile or think my life could be worse, I've done my job. I've done my job. I can't go back to what happened when I was 42. I can't go back and take the stroke away from me. But I almost say sometimes, I'm glad it happened.
It's amazing that you said that. I just wrote down, did depression make you value your life more? Would you say?
Yes.
Would you say? Yes. I just wrote that down as you was talking, because I'm thinking to myself, like, goodness gracious, that's what it feels like,
It changed my whole life. It made me have a different outlook.
Yeah.
Now it's about me.
Yeah.
I'm always a giving person. Anybody that meet me can say I'm giving. I was giving bread away at the gym this morning. Got some bread in my car if you need some. But
yeah.
But it's helped me to find me again.
Yes. Yeah, that's awesome.
Because probably in my 40s I was starting to lose me.
Wow.
I was starting to lose me.
Wow.
So I say this, I know this sounds funny 13 years later, but I said, did God do this on purpose? Did he use me as a vessel to make me to wake up to get where I needed to be?
Yeah.
And I swear, sometimes I cry, I sit and cry, I'm very emotional.
Yeah.
But I think he did use me. I think he used this experience to say, Kim can handle it. And I always say too, like, then why you take my vision?
Yeah.
God, why did you take my vision? But then I say, most of the people that were there on the stroke unit at Hopkins had lost both eyes.
Yeah.
So maybe he was trying to save me.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely believe God can bring good out of any difficult situation, bad situation we go through, you know? And as you're talking and you're saying you're showing up, you show up for yourself. And I really believe that you showing up for yourself now has enabled you to show up for other people, you know, which is such a beautiful thing. And again, taking the things that we go through in life and giving it like a new meaning and giving it life. And just this podcast really is going to help somebody. I'm just blown away at, and I'll share this. Like, I'm blown away at people come up and say, hey, I want to be on the show. Not everybody, but just how things have lined up, and you to be sitting in this chair right now, then sharing what you're sharing that I had no idea of, you know, and I just
That's
know
crazy.
it's really,
I thought you knew.
No, I know it's really, it's really going to help somebody. And you mentioned, I forgot exactly what you mentioned, but I wrote down the note, continue to believe in your life journey. It's like almost like a therapy session for me, because that's what it's telling. As you're talking, I feel like it's like, Derek, continue to believe in your life journey.
Yes.
Like whichever way you're going, and it gets difficult, it's the ebbs and flows of life.
Yes.
You know, and continue to believe in your purpose and your journey in the midst of it all.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
And it's like, and that's what I feel like what I've gotten just from this short conversation is, you know what I mean? It's just amazing.
Show up and show out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Show up and show out. Don't just show up. Make sure you show out when you're showing up. When I come into the gym in the morning, I'm not just there to work out.
Yeah.
You never know. I try to touch someone. I speak to everybody. I get everybody's name. It's funny, in my little note section of my phone, every single person that I met, when I start talking to y'all name is on the list. Because I never wanted to forget your name. You were there. But I never wanted to forget your name.
Yeah.
So as I got to know people, I write their name down.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, when we had that outing, I didn't know certain people.
Yeah.
I'm not going to mention names, but I didn't know certain people. Now, every day they stop and talk to me.
Yeah.
I tell you, it's a journey that you can't go backwards.
Yeah.
You can only go forwards. But I've learned so much. I've learned more in the 13 years than I learned in my whole entire life.
Yeah, it's like you with the writing of things now. It's just like stuff. This is what it's saying to me. Like, you live in life on purpose. Like something as simple as writing names down. It's like you're living, like you're going there and living your life on purpose.
On purpose.
You know, like that's just amazing to me.
I remember it 2 weeks ago when it snowed real bad and people was like, you going? Heck yeah, I'm going to the gym. Now, once we got there and the snow was really bad, it was risky getting home. My husband wasn't a little happy with me. But I had to be there, and the gym was packed.
Yeah. People, we going to go to the gym. We ain't trying to go to work, but we going to go to the gym.
Don't tell my job that.
Yeah.
But yes. I do try to live my life with a purpose. I really, really do. And although I said it's coming to the end, but it's coming to the end for me, that doesn't mean it's not coming to the end for the newbies coming up. The new young girls and guys that are in social work. But it's just, I'm even flattered to even be here to tell my story. And I wasn't sure if that's how things were going, but when you told me the topics, I almost had tears because I was like, oh my God, I can't wait. I can't wait to tell my story.
Yeah, that's good.
But I thought you knew the story. But
no, I didn't. I appreciate you. I appreciate it. So the last question I have is, someone's listened to this podcast and something you shared resonated with them, like based on your life journey, things you talked about and you've gone through. what advice would you have for that person? I feel like you've given quite a bit of advice. So like, what advice? Like, no, that's fine. No, it's fine. Like, yeah. What advice would you have for the person?
I will say this. I don't like the word advice.
Okay. Yes.
Because you could advise people and then they take it wrong and say, well, she told me to do this.
Yeah.
I always tell people, even in my social work field, I always say one thing. I never use the word understand. Because unless I've been in your shoes, like when people say, my mother passed away, and they say, oh, I understand. No, my mother's living, so I can never understand.
Yeah, yes.
When people used to say, oh, I understand how you feel with your stroke. No, you don't.
Yeah.
And first of all, in my situation, it was a surgery that went wrong. And I, as a result, came out blind.
Gosh.
Even after 4 legal teams, I wasn't able to sue. But when I look back, what I tell people is this. Live your life to the best you can. Don't try to compare.
Yeah.
Don't try to be more than you are. Take every day, day by day, because today was not a good day this morning. The devil was busy early this morning. Everything that could have went wrong was going wrong with me. But then I had to think about midday. I said, oh, I got the podcast to do tonight. I got the podcast. And it flipped my whole attitude.
Yeah.
It flipped my whole attitude, because I remember looking at the questions again and I was like, oh, I can't wait to tell my story. And I know that sounds crazy,
No,
but in the beginning I didn't want nobody to know I had a stroke. I didn't want people to know I was blind. But live your life to the fullest. Don't worry about what other people say, what other people do. Never tell people you understand. I don't care if you've been in the same boat, because what someone is going through, even with the same path, is not the same path. It really is not the same path. Your divorce and your trauma is different than my mother's divorce and trauma. It's just different. My stroke is different. It's just different. Just do what makes you happy. Find something that you want to do, good, bad, or indifferent. The gym was never in my track.
Wow.
Never. But I started going back, and now it's like gym rat. I just can't give it up. And not for the exercise, not for the changes I see in my body, which, just to let you know, I'm happy. But it's all about what it's done for me. And I can't look back now. I'm 55. People think, if you see me in person, people think I'm in my 20s or 30s. But I can't go back. I can't go back. Find something that works for you and just run with it. And please, let's get away from the trauma. Let's get away from the stigma of mental health. If you need therapy, go talk to somebody. If you need group sessions, go sit in a group. If you need AA, get AA. If you need NA, if you need to check yourself in somewhere, check yourself in somewhere. It doesn't label you. It doesn't determine you, and it doesn't put any labels on who you are as a person. We all should be in therapy.
Hey, I know that's
the biggest people that need therapy are the therapists. I've learned that. Now, I probably should have been in therapy a long time ago. And I've had my spells. But whatever works for you, just do it. The gym worked for me. I found my path. I'm excited about my future. In 2 days, I'll be in Asia, flying to Singapore. And just think, if I had went forward on Christmas Eve 2011, I wouldn't be here.
But you are.
And I thank God every day. I thank God every day. And that's why I tell my story, and that's why I'm proud that you even asked me to be a part of something where I can share where I've been. And I just hope, and I know Derek has done many, many podcasts, but I hope that maybe someone who's been down the same path, whether it's the trauma, the medical issue, the wanting to unalive yourself, I just hope and pray that something is like a little bell in the back of someone's head, that I'm not the only one. That's the thing. I'm not the only one that's going through stuff.
That's the whole point of all of this.
Trauma is real. I tell you that. Today was not a good day. But I'm okay. I'm breathing. And I'm making it. And I just take it day by day.
Well, thank you so much for sharing with us.
You're welcome.
I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thanks everybody for checking out the show. Until next time, peace.